Hey, so I wanted to show you a quick little video here on how to use a small ball and a foam roller to alleviate some low back discomfort. If you don't have a trigger point ball, which is what I'm going to use here, this can be easily done with a tennis ball in your lower back as well too. So I'm going to go through this very simple protocol on how to use this simple tool here and use this tool here and give you some relief in your lower back. All right, so here's what I want you to do. Make sure you can see all of me here. You're gonna take this ball, okay, and we're gonna put it in the soft tissue area on either side of our spine. So I'm gonna choose, working on my right side right here. I'm gonna put the ball above my hip, above my belt line, but below my rib cage. So not on any bony tissue, I'm right there in that soft tissue area. So once I got it, I'm gonna put it right in there. And I'm going to move it around and maybe find a little bit of a tender spot. Okay, I've got one there. Now, I'm going to use my breath. I'm going to inhale, exhale, and push down onto the ball using my abdominal muscles. Inhale, exhale, push down on the ball. You can feel that tender spot of what you're working on, okay? Now I'm going to hold that pressure into the ball. Once I've done that, then I'm going to do these little tiny micro bridges with my hips. I'm going to come up, 1, 2, tender, 3, 4, I'm going to do it 10 times, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2 more, 9, 1 more, pressure, right? Keeping that pressure down into the ball, and then I'm just going to rock my hips left and right a little bit. Just a little bit. The ball doesn't really move, and it shouldn't move. What you're hoping for is just you feel like your body is moving over top of the ball. Good. And then I'll exhale, put my hips back down, give it a little break. And then I might move the ball up or down to another location. And you can do this all the way up and down your spine as long as you aren't on your spine itself. You can be on either side where there's soft tissue. Starting with a tennis ball is probably a good idea because the tennis ball is going to be a little more forgiving than a trigger point ball. And you definitely don't want to do something like a lacrosse ball or anything like that. That's just going to be too hard. It's just going to piss off the soft tissue in your lower back area or along your spinal area. So think trigger point ball, but probably start off with a tennis ball if you have one at home. Now, the next thing you can do with your ball, if you have a little bit of a harder ball, is put it right there in your rear end, okay, in the thick, meaty part of your butt, and then kind of roll over onto it. So you're kind of leaning on it. So I'm on my right side again. I'm gonna take a big deep breath in, exhale, sink down on the ball, and then you're gonna lift your leg up 5 times. 5 leg lifts, yep. And then once you've done 5 of those, you would go 5 clamshells with your knee. Again, the ball's not moving. All that's moving is the joint and the body parts around it. And then once I've done 5 of those, then both knees together, 5. And we're just going to keep going. You can probably do 2 or 3 cycles of that in your butt. You can do, obviously, I recommend doing both sides. Don't just do the one side that's affected. Do both sides. It'll help you feel a little bit looser. Okay. Once you've gone through doing a little bit of work with your trigger point ball or your tennis ball, we very rarely foam roll the lower back with a foam roller. Really because there's not enough soft tissue to support it, but I'm going to teach you a way to do it that you can navigate it and feel pretty good. So what you do, okay, is you're actually going to put it on a bit of an angle. So you're not going to go straight across your back. You're going to kind of come out here, and you're almost going to lay on your side. It's not quite on your side all the way, so you're kind of leaning back. So I'm right there in that lower back area, right in there, okay, in that soft tissue area, same place where the ball was. Now, I've got my other leg up here with my foot on the ground, elbows down on the ground here, and all I'm going to do is start by just this little pivot front to back. Little pivot, okay? Nothing real big, digging in there, and then I'm going to stop on a really sore and tender area, and I'm going to use this leg, and I'm going to use my hand to kind of lift up a little bit and roll up and down. And if you notice, you're not rolling very far. You just don't need to, okay? There's really not a lot of space between your hip bone and your bottom of your rib cage. And you'd roll that out, and you'd maybe do 2 or 3 cycles of that and do both sides. Once you've done a little bit of rolling, and you've done a little bit of rolling and a little bit of ball work down there in your back region, one of my next favorite back stretches, okay, is to get down on your back, grab both your knees, pull your knees apart, and pull back towards your armpits. Actively use your breath. Exhale and pull back. Inhale. Exhale. Pull back. And that'll help get a nice little release in your lower back region. Then from there, you can also do what we call the figure 4 stretch. And when we do the figure 4 stretch, take one leg at a time, cross it over, take your hands, reach one hand through, reach the other hand on the outside of your knee, head stays down, and then gently just pull back towards your chest. And you're going to feel most of this in your rear end and the outside of your hip, but this helps to release your lower back. And again, you can hold these for about 15 to 30 seconds, and I recommend doing, a couple times on each side. Should feel pretty good. And then always, after all of that, to try and help you mobilize after you've done some, or help you activate after you've done all that mobilization, is to work on some simple bridging, okay? And think about it. Clench your butt cheeks, and then up, but stop before you arch your back, right? We don't want to arch our back. We want to make sure that we're just driving up, tuck in your pelvis, squeeze in your butt. Down, tuck your pelvis, squeeze your butt. So at the top, your knees, hips, and shoulders form a nice straight line. And you can do that for a minute. You can do that for 25 reps, whatever works for you. But then that's some good activation after you've mobilized everything, okay? So those are some simple strategies to help you with any kind of lower back discomfort you may have, or if you just kind of overdid it in your workout. I hope that helps. Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks.